Thank you very much, my dear friend Mustafa. Maybe it's also my duty to introduce you a little bit. Mustafa is a Senegalese-born guy, and now he's moved to the US for about, a couple of months ago, and he's the founder of this organization, SIREM, and the organization has set up Africa Talk Sport, especially, as you said, during the COVID-19 pandemic period, which has undermined the activity of sports worldwide. So this is when I started collaborating with SIREM and Africa Talk Sport, and that was in 2021, I think, because we started working in this activity so as to connect, to keep the sport ecosystem, the officials, the athletes, the managers, and so on, to keep them connected with sport during that difficult period. So now we have decided to continue the broadcasting of this program that will be yearly. We have like a quarterly event, and this is the first of this year, and it really falls in line with the current topic, which is the International Women's Day. You know, tomorrow is March 8th, and that will be the 67th edition of the celebration of the International Women's Day that was established by the UN. So now we are going to address issues concerning women in sport, and our topic today is women leadership and sport development in Africa. So welcome everybody, welcome the people online, but I'll start to maybe welcoming our ladies, our brilliant and beautiful ladies who are part of this session today with us. First of all, Dr. Hayat Khattab, who is the first Vice President of African Paralympic Committee.
Hello.
Dr. Khattab, welcome.
Thank you, welcome, nice to see you.
How are you? How are you today? How is it in Cairo?
Oh, lovely, great, thank you very much. I've missed the Senate session today in order to be with you.
Yeah, thank you very much. This is a great honor because you have to say
this
that
is very
you are also
important.
a member of the Senate. Yes, you're a member of the
Women
Senate.
in Africa is a very important topic.
Thank you for coming, and thank you for letting other very important activities on your business agenda. Thank you for being here. I also welcome Kadi Kanute Tunkara. She's from Mali, but I think she's right now in Senegal. Kadi, good morning and welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, and thank you for having me. It's a great honor.
Yes, how is it in Dakar now? Today is hot or it's cold, it's rainy?
It's quite nice. It's quite nice. They call it cold here, but yeah, we do appreciate coming from Mali. it's a nicer weather. No, everything is fine here in Dakar, and I hope for you as well.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. We move to the next guest here. Is Memory Khalahi. Khalahi, she's from Namibia. She has also a lot of experience in sports, especially in Paralympic sport. As you see today, we have some Paralympic sports representative and only maybe one Olympic sport representative. Maybe we were supposed to have more from Olympic, but they had a very busy schedule. So Memory, thank you for coming. Memory? Maybe we move, Memory has a problem maybe with the connection, so we move to our other guest, who is, she's not a manager in sport as such, but she's a very active actor in sport because she's a coach, para-powerlifting coach. She's from Cameroon. Constance, welcome. Hello.
Hi. Are you getting me? Fine,
yes,
thank you, moderator, for including me in this wonderful talk on the women's leadership and sport development in Africa. And we would like to share our few experience in order for women's sport to be spearheading in so many countries as we are trying to do in Cameroon as far as para powerlifting is concerned, with your help, especially as our mentor. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you for being here. How is it in Yaoundé today? How's the climate there?
We are okay. There is a bit, it is not very hot, not very cold. The temperature is normal today. Thank you.
Thank you for being with us. We're very happy to have you. So can we get back to memory? She had a little issue with her camera. I think she switched off, and I hope she's back now. Memory, are you with us?
Hi, Etienne. Hello, everybody. Kadi, Constance, Dr. Ayati. And I would like to thank everybody for having me here. And we look forward to a great discussion all about women in sports, definitely.
Thank you, Memory, for being here. Thank you. So I think we have introduced all our members. And in a few minutes, lady, you have to maybe say more about you, more about your experience, more about your capacity, your quality in sport, what you have been doing this past, so that our participant, the audience, who are many here now, can know more about you, and then they can better weigh your experience in the area of sport. As you know, today we have as I just told you, is the 67th edition of this celebration of the International Women's Day, which will be taking place tomorrow. You know, sport is a key driver for social change in general, okay? And also as an empowering tool for girls and women. So maybe I'll give the floor to Dean Dr. Hayat to say maybe a few words about herself, and then what is her impact, what is her experience in terms of sports in Africa, maybe in 1 or 2 minutes. Dr. Hayat, please. Hello. So who wants to take the floor? Let's just take the floor. Who is ready to take the floor?
Yes.
Kadi?
Can you hear me now?
Okay, Dr. Hayat is back. Okay, just tell us more about yourself and your experience in sports.
Yes. First of all, it is an honor to be among such pioneer women in Africa. I had the honor to be the first woman to head the National Paralympic Committee, and this, of course, was a great challenge for me because, you know, Egypt is a man's society, and to have a woman in such a position was a very challenging, but thanks God, with good work, I was able to prove to them that women can do a lot. During my whole work in the Paralympic, and because of what I've been doing, I was elected in 2018 at the international. I've been elected the award of the International Women in. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, can you hear you? Yes, can hear you.
By the IPC, and of course, this was a very great honor for me. And also because of my work, I have been chosen by the president of the state, Mr. Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, as to be a member of the Senate. Normally, and for the first time, the women in the Senate have taken a very big part. We are 10% of the number of senators. And at the same time, I am also an instructor, a teacher, a professor at the American University in Cairo, at a university called MES International University. So I think I am very honored to be an African woman that have proven to the world that women can do a lot. And of course, the last honor for me was to be elected as the first vice president of the African Paralympic Committee. I'm working with Samson Dean, president, and we are really doing a great job. And very soon we will be having the African Paralympic Games 2023 in Ghana. And this is also is a great challenge for me as a woman. Is this enough?
Thank
or
you
do
very
you want
much.
me,
Yeah.
do
No,
you want me
go
to
on. Move on. Go on. No, no, go
you
on.
want me? Yeah, okay. Of course, I have to tell you and tell everybody that women are meeting and facing lots of challenges in Africa and in the whole world. But thanks God, we have been proven to everybody that we are capable. And it is here in front of us, we have 3 more pioneer women in Africa that are gonna tell us our experience. But this doesn't mean that it is enough for us. No, we need to do more. We need to work harder. We need to motivate other women to do and to act with us to develop Africa, of course. This will need
Thank
a
you.
great work.
Thank you. Thank you, Doctor. Maybe you are already entering into the debate. We come to that. We come to
Okay.
that shortly.
Love.
Yes, in
Okay.
greater detail. Thank you for that introduction. That's why we have done everything to have you here, because we know your experience. We know that in terms of Paralympic sport in Africa, you are surely one of the most experienced lady in terms in the para sport. So that's why we have you today, and we're very happy and honored to have you. Thank you. And now I
Thank
move
you.
to Kadi. Kadi, who is the only representative here, maybe of the Olympic sports. She has had a lot of experience in the Olympic area, in the Olympic activity ecosystem. So Kadi, can you tell us more about yourself in the area of sport and Olympic activities? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Songa, and thank you for having me with such distinguished other guests. It's a great honor. I think my journey with sports started with a passion. I think before being involved on the behind the scene with sports, I'm first an athlete. I'm an African athlete and an African champion in the sport of basketball in 2007 when we won the African Cup in Dakar. And sorry for that, Mustafa. You're probably young at that time, but yeah, I'm first a sport lover. Sport, I think, brought me to 3 different continents, living an amazing lifestyle that I couldn't dream of. Being born and raised in Mali, in Medina Kura, one of the neighborhoods of Bamako. So sport first for me was really the door opener for let's say a balanced life. So I think very important component of my life, as I played 20 years of professional sports. After that, I think I've been appointed as an athlete's representative, and there I saw the opportunity to see how we can support sports ecosystem in Africa and support athletes, which I believe really are the heart and the center of everything that we do. If we talk about sports, it's because they're athletes who are performing. So I wanted to really support in the best of my capacity. And so with that, I think my first approach and where I see that I could add value was through education, and how do we help athletes embrace a dual career or plan for their retirement after sports, because I was also in that period of my life where I was wondering, what will I do? I had a scholarship and a marketing degree from the United States thanks to sports, and I was already anticipating. So when I joined the Olympic Committee, it was with that program called Career Plus Now, which is to help athletes, elite athletes in Africa. And I was able to go to over 50 countries with that program between Europe and Africa in both French and English. And then while navigating through that system, I also understood that we need to not only tackle career, but all these other important topics that can really support athletes on and off the field of play. And that also included anti-doping, because it's really in line with the values that I embrace of integrity, of fairness, equity, equal access to everyone, but also fair play and clean sport. So in that sense, I started getting interest into that. I first entered WADA, the World Anti-Doping Agency, as an athlete, as an education committee member, and then as an athletes committee member. And now I have the great honor to be the first African to be chairing the education committee as well at WADA, and to be a member of the International Olympic Committee Athletes Entourage Commission, but also as a steering member for the Career Plus program. So I'm really supporting sports the way that I can, and also if this is para sport here, I'm also collaborating as a consultant with the International Red Cross Committee for a program that we do for career development for persons with disabilities, and for that we do promote also sport as one of the key pillars that we use, and for social inclusion for persons with disabilities. So we also work in different aspects very much with Paralympic committees in Africa through that program. So thank you for having me. I don't want to take too much time in the introduction, but I guess in summary, that can give you a grasp of what I'm trying to do here in the sphere of sport ecosystem in Africa. Thank you.
Thank you, Kadi. Thank you, Kadi. It's really nice to have you. I mean, you have really a huge experience. You have also touched the Paralympic sports with disabilities. So really, you are the person that we are, the kind of person that we need in this kind of program. Thank you for being here. Now we move on to Memory. Memory, so can you tell us more about yourself and your involvement in sports in general, and as a woman in Paralympic sport and so on? Thank you, Memory.
Thank you, Etienne. I see that the host wants me to put my video, but unfortunately, my network, if I do that, then I'm losing connection to hear everything. So I'm not sure if I will be allowed to proceed.
No problem. Just continue, but just keep on trying, because we want to see. We want to see your face, but just continue by waiting.
Oh, okay. No, I will keep trying. Thank you once again, and my name is Memory Kahlari. I am based in the NPC Namibia as the Chief Operating Officer. My first involvement with the Paralympic movement was around about in 2012, when I actually joined as a volunteer to just support the NPC with my skills, and mainly in their administrative part that was lacking. So as the years go by, I actually fell in love with the movement and what it stands for. And I continued supporting the NPC in their administrative part, policy making, supporting our athletes, and also advocating for sports for people with disabilities in Namibia. Not only did I actually volunteer within the NPC movement, I also do disability sports that also caters for Special Olympics, the Deaf Olympics. I also support the organization as well. So I've just realized my passion in the sports for people with disabilities have actually also grown. Being also a person that have realized that women, or even our girls, they don't have same representation on different platforms in sport. So I hope with our involvement as women, we will keep encouraging our girls and women to take up these positions, to be able to make this world a better place, especially when it comes to sports. So I'm happy to be here, and also to take through the sessions that we have for the day. Thank you.
Thank you, Memory. Thank you also for sharing with us your experience. I will say you have an extensive also experience on this sport. And now we can see your beautiful face. Thank you for coming. Thank God for that. So we move to Constance. Constance, you are maybe the only active woman here in terms of activity, in terms of, I mean, who is closer or closer to the athlete, because you are coach. So can you tell us more about yourself? You're also a teacher. That's why we can hear the kids there talking. You're also a teacher in special, I mean, for intellectual disabled kids. So we have to say that. So anyway, you're going to introduce more tell us more about yourself in 1 or 2 minutes. Thank you, Constance. Yeah, connect your microphone. Connect your microphone.
No.
Constance, connect your microphone. Yes. Okay, yes. Yes,
yes, yes. Okay, I was just, as you said, I'm a teacher. I was just shifting away from the children who are out for break now because I had some sport classes with them. I'm called Madame Tufi Constance, sport and physical education teacher at the National Center for the Rehabilitation of Persons with Disabilities since 2009. When I came out from the School of Sport, I was sent here. And when I got here, I had no notion about sport for persons with disability, but because of my positive reinforcement and the love I have for persons with disability, I had to go a long way to integrate myself as far as adapted sport is concerned, and especially in Cameroon and in the Paralympic world. 2009, 2011, there was JAFAF in Cameroon, where I was like opted to be one of the coaches in the wheelchair basketball team, where we got a training from Convergence. Some experts came from Belgium and Canada, and we had a seminar, 2-week seminar on parasport. That's why I fell in love with sport for persons with disability. Apart from that, I've been teaching here. In this school, there are 4 types of disability, and then who practices sports. The school in which I teach serves as an orientation school for athletes in other disciplines, in other federations. Like I deal with the physically disabled, with the deaf and dumb, with the intellectual disabled, and with the visual impaired. And most of these federations dish out their athletes from the national center, since I'm just like the base to train and dictate and oriented in different federations for elite sports. Coming back to para-powerlifting, I'm a coach for para-powerlifting since 2011, as I earlier said, and a member at large at the National Paralympic Committee of Cameroon. And as I can say, the SJ didn't just choose me because he wanted to choose me, but because he knew the role I play in parasport in Cameroon. I think if I have good memory, I'm the first coach who took a disabled athlete for Paralympic Games in Cameroon, of which they look upon me like a role model. A woman teaching para powerlifting is not an easy thing, and bringing out quality results, encouraging female in the field of para powerlifting is not an easy thing. So I think joining this group, I'm going to gain more experience and share more of my experience I have in parasport through GAPS Africa, through Agitus, because we had a training program in Cameroon as through Agitus, through also this ecosystem environment in which the moderator started in Cameroon, through Convergence, and I think with much experience that I got from Parasport partners, I'm going to also share with other countries. Thank you, Mr. SG.
Thank you, Constance, for this brief presentation and interesting introduction of yourself. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I think that the stage is set. We're going to start properly our discussions, our debate. So we have to split our debate into four main areas. The first four main questions. The first will be the importance of sport for women. What is the importance of sport for women? First, as a practitioner, not only as a leader, as an administration, but what is it that is important for women to be in sport? And the second that will be, and a different aspect of this will be, how does the society benefit from the women being in sports? Second aspect will be, what are the obstacles of women in sport in terms of practice and in terms of management? Third, we'll have to review the current situation of women in sport in Africa. What is the current situation? What are the difficulties? And then the fourth and last one will be the initiative that has been taken now internationally and on the continent to stimulate, to boost the role, the leadership of women in sport, and what are the actual outcomes or results so far. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll start, and maybe I'll start with Kadi. Kadi, in terms of sport, we generally say yes, women don't practice sport. There are some kind of obstacle, there's some kind of hindrances to women in the practice of, so when they want to practice sport. What is it so important for a woman to practice sport? Kadi.
Thank you very much, Etienne. I think as much for women and men, I think one of the first benefits of sport is already physical and psychological well-being. I think that's quite obvious, but for young women, and especially in society today, I think social science has proven that it's really important for women to practice sport in order to build resilience, to build character, self-confidence, and also to be able to contribute, efficiently to the well-being of society as well. Because if women can practice, then young girls can practice, and they'll be more inclined to also motivate the remaining of the family to be healthier. So sport has an enormous impact, but obviously in our society and in our African society, there's also a lot of cultural beliefs and even societal beliefs that really discourage women from practicing sports. When I was 8 years old, I had to fight with my grandmother to be able to go to my first basketball practice, because my grandmother is Fulani. I come from a Muslim country where even wearing sporting gears it's kind of an issue. So I had to negotiate whether I could wear shorts, whether I could wear a jersey. So at the same time, it was also the motivator for me, because that's what I wanted to do. When you say no to a girl, sometimes this is the challenge that you want to entail. So but look at what sport has done for someone like me. So it is a challenge, but I mean, obviously we cannot deny all the benefits that sports can bring. When you even look deeper into even the business world, most of the most successful CEOs, if you look at the US, have been practicing at least college sports. So that gives you just an incentive of what sport can do, not only at a health for health benefits, but also for social integration of women, and at large this repercute on the success that the society that we have today, how it can progress even in the business world.
Thank you, Kadi, for this insight. I think maybe Dr. Hayat, you can add something on that, on what will be the importance for a woman to practice sports.
Well, I appreciate very much what my colleague has just been saying, because in some societies, and especially in the Muslim societies, for women to take part in sports, there is a great challenge. But I think with the new era, the culture of the society is transforming little by little, because as we all know, women are supposed to be half or more than half of any society. And to encourage women, especially the young generation, to play sport is very, very important. In Africa, as I said before, we need to make more efforts to encourage women to play sports, because sports can be a very important issue for the development of any society. And especially what I'm really keen about is the disabled young generation. We want to encourage them to be part of the sports because of its importance, because it is a motivation for them to keep on going in life. And also, it is when they feel they are part of the development of the society, they will give more and more. And especially if we have governments that encourage the participation of women in sports, that is great, because this means we're going to have a very healthy society. Because as we all know, women are mothers, they are sisters, and being motivated to develop in the society, this will help automatically in all the development of all societies. In Africa, I think that we are moving little by little. We are having more development. And I think most of the people who are really responsible about sports in societies and in government are very much aware of the importance of women in sports. And a very good example for us, as we can see that during the last election of the IPC board, we found that we had more than 2-3 women on the board. And according to the constitution of the IPC, it is important that every organization, every sport organization have in its board women as members, because women are a motivator. They will motivate others, and this is how we're gonna improve. I'm happy because things are improving, societies are improving, but as I said before, we need to do more work and work.
Yeah.
Hello?
Okay, thank you. Yes, thank you. Of course, yes, thank you for this contribution, especially Kadi and you, because you are from a very special society. I mean, different society, Muslim societies, where the challenge is even higher. And now, Constance, is it the same problem in Cameroon for the women, the young girls who want to participate in sport? So as a coach who is close to the sports person, especially the young girls and women who participate, how do you appraise the importance of sport for women?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Moderator, for giving me the opportunity to talk. I've discovered that for the past years, I've been training para-powerlifting or teaching in the disabled and inclusive school. More girls or women who practice sport have a lot of positive reinforcement when it comes to sport. And you will see, they will always like, je peux courir plus que toi, je peux faire plus que toi, je peux, you see. And this is true sport that they gain this positive reinforcement. And you also see that when they are with their peers, they are empowered.
بقول لك بوسي والنبي ليها عيش ما خدتوش.
Sorry.
Uh,
And you-
Please, Dr. Hayat, mute your microphone, please. Yes, go on, Constance. Constance? Constance, yes, go on.
Yes, I'm getting you, Mr. Moderator. And you will see that generally those who practice sports are not shy, like as compared to their peers that come from different schools that they do not practice sport. And if you compare the level of performances of my elite school girls with that of the other school girls in the primary school section, you will see that their performance are more better and they are not shy as far as sport is concerned. And you also see that, Mr. SJ, psychologically, their well-being is more positive than negative. And you will see, especially in the inclusive school, you will see that those who practice sports, there is inclusion in sports. And as far as inclusion is concerned, when they go out there in the society, they are not scared from disability, or they don't down look on persons with disability. I can state an example, like one of my pupil who left from this inclusive school, and during sports, I used to like team him up to be a guide for one of the disabled, or push the wheelchair, let's go to the field. You will see that when she went to the secondary school in College Vaux in Cameroon, there was a disabled that was like trying to cross the road. I bet you there were thousands of students on the way. It is only that my pupil who had the bold mind, who was encouraged to like go towards the guy on the wheelchair, to like push his wheelchair when the father dropped him from his car for school. You will see that practicing sport or inclusive sports, it gives them a psychological, a positive way of thinking. And you also see that, Mr. SJ, the promotion and development of sport for women contributes significantly in gender equality. They will always see themselves as, I can do what a man can do, I can also do. And it forces them, or it promotes them, or encourages them to go in for better training, or to do well during their training, so that during performances, they should be able to perform like the male as other counterparts. You also see that sport is a valuable tool for women empowerment and improve status around the world, and enables to assert or women to integrate themselves within the society. Through sport, people gain boldness, people gain courage, and people are able to integrate in the society. Like through sport, my Alex had to write the concours in Cameroon, but because she was doing sport with me, her name was on the waiting list. On waiting list, it is not easy to get into the mainstream. So through sport, I encourage her, even though she was one of my best athletes, I have to encourage her to take herself and go right to the far north province, far north region of Cameroon, meet the rector face to face and talk to him about his name, her name on the waiting list. I'm sure if she wasn't my athlete, I couldn't have given to her such bold, and today she's a physiology teacher at ABC, and she still practices sport. She's one of the best athletes. I'm already training for para-powerlifting for the Paralympic Games. So I think with sport, there's a lot of integrity in the society. Thank you, Mr. SJ.
So thank you, Constance, for this contribution. So Memory, as the first villager has said, we can conclude that sport is really a tool for empowering women in the society in general. Are you of this position, of this opinion?
Definitely, I agree with Hadi, with Constance, and with Dr. Hayati that sport is actually important in women and in girls, definitely. I would even give an example of myself. I'm sure at the first years that we met, I was a bit big in size of my body, but I realized that as time was going on, I don't think I was happy. Now that I actually know more about physical active, living a healthy lifestyle, probably I realized that I suffered, depression at some point. But turning my life into being an active person, and this was actually derived from our athletes, just looking at our athletes being able to do what they do. And I'm not able to actually live a fitness life. It took a challenge on me, and I ventured into my, physical fitness. And then I realized that everything changed for me. The confidence, just like Kadi explained before, that it actually gives confidence in women. It's how you carry yourself, how you present yourself. So when a woman, in a society carries themselves like that, then definitely there's power behind. They are change makers when it comes to women who are confident about what they believe. So I totally agree with everybody that sports plays a vital role in women, in girls, even giving more example to Namibia having our first gold medal came from a female athlete, which is Joanna Benson in 2012. And you can
Hello, Memory? Hello? Hello, Memory?
I think we lost her.
Okay, I think we have Memory has some little issues with our network. So ladies, we realize that of course a sport is a very important tool for women empowerment and even young girl empowerment in Africa and elsewhere. That is why participation in sports, as you may all know, is recognized as a human right, under the terms of the United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So it is a very important component of cultural life in the community. So we have established the importance of sport practice for women, for young girls, and how important it is for themselves and ultimately for the society, the whole society, because when you have empowered women who are empowered by or through sports, they are better in the society in general. They are more confident, self-confident. They are more, psychologically free and alert to work and contribute in other aspects of the society. So this is very important to realize. So now, what obtains generally, globally, is that there are some limitations, there are some obstacles of women participation in sports. So now we are going to look into the issues. What are the main obstacles? What are the main hindrances of women participating in sports? We first talk of practice. So why we had Dr. Hayat and Kadi, who said, for example, the cultural component of Muslim society, that is some kind of obstacle to the participation. But maybe we have some other obstacles, some other elements that may prevent women or young girls into practicing sport. So maybe dear ladies, I want us to insist now on what are the main obstacles. Don't insist on only the obstacles from outside. Also look at the obstacle inside. That is, within the women, within the young girls, because you know that they also have some kind of reluctancy to engage in sports. So I want you women to address this issue globally, not only on the society that is, undermining your efforts or your possibility to practice, but also what are the personal conditions, the individual conditions that may hamper the participation, the effective participation of women in sports. So who wants to take the floor first? Maybe Dr. Hayat, maybe can you give us one of the examples, one of the obstacles of women participation? Yeah.
When I'm going to talk about the obstacles, let us first decide, or let us first agree that we can segregate. We can say that let us talk about women in urban society and women in cities and villages. The women in cities or in the big governorate, they are more motivated, or they are more ready to be part and to play sports because the environment around them is allowing them. Of course, some women might find difficulties, especially in some areas or in some places. You know, women get married very young. So this woman who has been married, finished, she is not, or she doesn't even think of practicing sports. But what we are doing, or what we should do, that we should tackle this point and get inside this woman to let her feel that sports is going to really help her in her around life. So women in cities, from inside, many of them are really ready to practice sports. And if they have the chance, and if they meet the clubs or the places where they can practice sports, I think they are going to do it. Some women, maybe their husband, their brothers, as I said before, because of the culture, they do not even dare to say that they want to play sports. For example, I have seen in many situations, some women or who are married, they have children, but they are eager to play sports. Some of them were asking me to talk to their husbands to let them play sports. Once they have given the chance, they are becoming champions in the area. So women, as I said, in cities and big governorates, they are more motivated to play sports. As for the people in the villages and the women in villages and in the areas where the concept of sports is not very encouraged, or it's not very focused on it, I think for me, I have seen many girls, young girls, who come to me, and when they see on the television and when they see the people or the girls who are champions, who are being awarded by governorate, who are being awarded by presidents, it is a great motivation for them. They always ask, what can we do? We want to be part of this. I'm going to focus on something, Etienne, that the disabled girl, okay, in the past was a kind of a bad thing for her family. The families were always trying to hide their disabled girls from the society. They don't people to mention that they have a disabled one. But with the change and with becoming a global village, this has been changing little by little. And it becomes a kind of jealousy between girls who wants to play sports, when they see that others. Unfortunately, if there isn't much places where girls can practice, this is a big problem. I also focus on schools schools should be a very important nest for girls to play sports. They should start with very simple sports, workout sports, and then they can start getting into main sports such as powerlifting, athletics, swimming, and so on. I always, when I talk with families who are come to me and they say we have problems with our children. Last week, I had a mother who came and her daughter had autism, and she was you know, the high mobility, and she was said, "Finish. I am depressed. I don't think. I think with this, my girl, finish. Life is finished." I said, "No, life is not finished. Let her play sport. Let her be part of a team. This will be a kind of a remedy for her as well." So from inside, we have to work on women and girls from inside to motivate them, give them a good environment that will facilitate their participation in sports.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Ayad, for this very great analysis. And Kadi, can you add on that with your experience and what will be the main obstacles that are external and both is external and internal for against women in sport?
Thank you very much. And yes, I think Dr. Ayad has highlighted some of the key obstacles when it comes to the logistics and access, let's say, to sport infrastructure, which is already a big obstacle even in our continent, since we know that we do not have the best infrastructure. And when there needs to be access to those infrastructure, then obviously men are favored in access. That's the way our society is. Girls have to wait on the court before they can play, and that's a bit everywhere. That's also a global situation. Some other obstacle that we can see can also be the lack of feminine figures, and I think media and broadcasting is doing a lot of effort in that way, that females who wanted to be in sport could not see that many role models being as reference for them and for young girls. I think that's also an obstacle when you don't foresee yourself in practicing sport because you don't have strong female images. And this is changing lately. You know, we see a lot of focus and emphasis on female, let's say, in streamlined media and female athletes, and their achievement also being highlighted. And that's also an obstacle that's now being overcome with time. And it's also the loss of disciplines where women can take part in. And I think that was also a great obstacle, the lack of disciplines where women could practice sports. And I think the Olympic movement has been doing a tremendous work in that, in ensuring there is parity in the Olympic Games. I think Tokyo was 48.8% female participation. We plan Paris to be the first Olympic Games where you will have 50-50 female participation in all disciplines. And even in the Olympic movement, it went even far as to creating now mixed disciplines, such in athletics and in other fields, just to ensure that women have a space and that we can meet that parity and fight that obstacle of access also to sport. So there is still also a lot of, as you say, internal obstacle when it comes to women, because we cannot see ourselves as becoming elite athletes because of also the obstacle of the, let's say, the financial situation of women being involved in sports, because, you know, we don't have the same remuneration and the same aspirations, because you cannot reach the financial, let's say, incentive that are offered for men involved with sports. So that's also an obstacle. So we really need, those are some of the things that I think a lot of international federations are looking into, a lot of sports organizations are looking into as some of the steps to ensure that women can have an equal access to sport and fight some of those obstacles. And I think when we move forward with that, and access and logistics and financial parity and equal access to the sport discipline, then we can move way really forward with women being more interested and more involved in sport.
Yeah, thank you, Kadi. But as you rightly saying, you're talking of the role models. I think this is very important because role models, they also encourage other girls who are maybe shying away or who are hindered in a certain manner to also involve themselves, to engage in sports. So it's very important. So in that talking of role model, maybe we are going to shift now to the other aspect of this topic about the management. So maybe, as you know, becoming a manager or sport administrator generally start by being a sports person. So you are first an athlete, and then after your career as a sports person, you become maybe a coach or maybe a member of a technical staff or then or administrative staff. So this is generally the normal procedure, normal process. It's sometimes difficult for a woman to just come from outside and become maybe a secretary general, maybe a president of an NOC or an NPC. So it's very important that also you as women who already have some positions in the continental or national sports body, that you are known, that you invest yourself, you engage yourself in that work of promoting and fostering women in sport. So now this brings us to that other aspect. So what will be the problems now in women in management in Africa, in management, in leadership? So the problem of leadership now, why don't we have enough women? I think that now on the continent in generally we barely have 25-30% of women in sports management, sport leadership. So what in your opinion, Memory, is accountable for that? So what can we blame? Can we only blame men on that? What are the causes, the main causes of this short number of women in leadership in sport? Thank you. Memory.
Thank you, Etienne. Generally, what I've actually learned with women taking up leadership positions comes definitely from the background, how we were raised, how actually within our families or society, how women, we have always been like, a woman will get married and have a husband who's going to be the leader of the family and make decisions and all that. And it comes all up as you are growing up. So for women to actually stand up and actually even campaign for these positions, it takes a lot of empowerment and mentorship that needs to be instilled in us as women, because it will always be a challenge, because you can even find out that even if it's at a general assembly or at a campaign, men will always dominate the space. Even for men to actually rally behind a woman who have good ideas, good intentions to take, if it's an organization or in a country, to greater heights, the support is still very low. So I think society still takes much away from raising that girl child to be a leader one of these days, because it's from the values that they instill to girls or to children as they are growing up. So I think that perception have to change from young ages as we grow, that we can also take up those spaces to be a world-leading coach, to be a world-leading president of an organization. So as we perhaps keep advocating that women we can, I think it will be of much help for advocates to be more in our societies.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Hayat. I mean, in terms of sport, women leaders in sport, I think you cannot say that you have been frustrated because you have been for many years a president of an Egypt National Paralympic Committee. You have been a member of the African Paralympic Committee Executive Committee. You are right now first vice president of the African Paralympic Committee. So, in your point of view, do you think there is a problem of leadership, of women leadership in sport in Africa? So, it's in terms of representation, that there is maybe a low representation of women in leadership, in sport leadership. And in your opinion, what are the obstacles, the cause of that? And I want to insist again on the aspect that there is the external and individual part in this dimension, in this set of obstacles. So, Dr. Hayat, with your experience, what can you tell us with this? With this?
I want to mention that for almost 10 years, I was the president of the Africa Paravolley Committee. And of course, this was, how we say, a great challenge for me, because being a woman, I can say very proudly that I was a role model for other African women. And this is the point here. The point here is that we should have as many as possible role model women in management so that others can follow them. Because a woman who starts in sports, for example, for myself, I made sure that some of the athletes, women athletes that were under my supervision, when they started growing, I automatically moved them to management. You see, they became managers in their field. And this, I think, it was very good experience, because when you manage a certain entity in a way that you have been passing through the different levels, you're going to have a better focus and better way of running this institution or this entity. So we can say, first of all, we must have more role model women in management. And by the way, now I can see that studying sports management has been becoming one of the main curriculum in many universities. And by the way, I have a grandchild. She is studying law, and she's taking as a minor sports management. So you see, and this is not only applying to her, it is applying to her and to some other many of her colleagues. So sports management should be taught in the, such as, for example, in the American University in Cairo, in the School of Continuing Education. We should have a sport management program that would give a diploma to those who want to study, and then they can just enter into the sports management. So I think we should take sports management professionally, systematically, scientifically, and if we can join between the academic and the practical part, I think we are going to have great women leaders in the whole world. And I think we should focus on Africa as well, because we have many pioneer women in Africa who have great ideas, who are ready to go on and to keep on giving and really being devoted to sports management.
Thank you for this contribution. Kadi, can you add more solutions that possible solutions to encourage women leadership in sport on the continent?
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. I think I will congratulate really Dr. Hyatt for promoting other women, because from my experience and from what I know in all those women leadership courses, what we surprisingly learn is that the main obstacle to another woman in sport leadership is a woman, meaning that it's so hard to no, it's really sad. It's really sad to hear, and I feel then we have a responsibility to promote other women when we get to higher position, because the mentality needs to change. We need to also understand this is a cultural background that we have among us, where women are designed culturally to fight each other, not to support each other. So it's very funny. There's an example that says if you look at any cartoon or any film suited for less than 9-year-old women, you rarely would see examples of two women fighting hand in hand for a greater cause than a prince or a king or a man. So that's when you realize the work and the effort that needs to be done for even for young girls to portray themselves fighting alongside for a greater cause and for societal change. So most of the time you see that when a woman succeeds, it's really hard, or perhaps she doesn't have the natural instinct to be lifting other women up. And we really need that. So when men wants to push women out of those positions, they use other women to fight them, which is really sad. So there is really, no, that's the reality of the sports ecosystem, and it also happens in the in society at large when it comes to higher positions. So I think when I became aware of that, I was really, really shocked myself and really looked into how I really also interact and how I try to promote other women in all the commissions that I lead or I have the chance to be able to have an influence on, to just ensure that I don't want to be the only one. It's really boring. It's not enriching. It's not. So we have a role to play. I think I'll emphasize on this as women in leadership, to lift other women up, to not see them as competition when they come and ask you for questions, when they come and ask you to be empowered, to see them as someone really who can also contribute and take over so that you can also keep moving forward. So that's a very important aspect. That's a solution that comes from us. The other part is that obviously, yes, we are half and half on this land, on this continent, on this earth. So we definitely need also the support of strong men. Men need to recognize the role of women and not also to see them as a threat. And that's still the case in many instances in sport. It's kind of, we know that women do an amazing job. We know that they're highly motivated. We know that we need them in the decision-making process. But still, when they're coming, they're frightening. They're frightening because they come with such strength and with such motivation. And sometimes men are not used to that because it's been a man's role for centuries. So that's also another reality. So we also need men to keep supporting women and to keep promoting women when they feel that it's fair, with no other incentive of supporting them, but for their ability to keep the position and to promote and to bring progress in the sports ecosystem. So I think those are two key points that are very important to me as I see forward. And also we need policy. Policy is really important as we're getting forward. I think some organizations have started with quotas and just to make sure there is enough female being empowered through the process. And obviously that comes with a lot of criticism where they feel like they're putting females in some positions just to have females, but that's no longer the case, because now also, as Dr. Ayat said, women can get trained, can get education, can get empowered through learning really what the position entails and getting better and better. So I'm very hopeful though, because I think when you learn, when you get sensitized, when you get there's a lot of awareness being created, even ourselves as women, to understanding how this all works and how we can support each other, then we can have more and more female coming in into high position into decision-making process in the sports ecosystem.
Thank you very much for this contribution. So we can say that we need more support from men, which is not easy. So we need to sensitize, to do a lot of sensitization work towards men, to accept also to welcome women in sport leadership. We need also more solidarity among women. Among women, they are not so, there's no solidarity. There's a lot of interference, a lot of fighting within themselves. I don't know why they are I mean, they are just a little number, but they fight against each other. This is not good. So there's a lot of work to do. As you said, there are a lot of initiatives that have been taken at international level by the IOC, by the IPC, by the UN Women, by the Center for Sports and Human Rights Change. So there are a lot of initiatives that have been taken. And I want to remind the initiative that was taken by the IPC recently as part of its governance review program to set a certain goal, a target of 50% of women representation in leadership in Africa Paralympic Committee. So, which is not, I mean, National Paralympic Committee, which is still to be achieved, but I mean, this is already a goal that has been set. So now maybe I'll take some from the audience. I have quite some good persons here. If there's somebody who wants to ask a question to one of our panelists, they are welcome. You may ask your question even in French. Most of them speak and understand French. I think only Memory has some problem. I may also translate it for her. So if some people of the online participants have some questions, some contributions, they are welcome. So, alors, s'il y a des questions, nous savons qu'il y a des participants. Donc, on va vous donner la parole pour une ou deux questions ou des observations. Ceux qui peuvent prendre la parole pour poser des questions, vous êtes les bienvenus. Il n'y a personne? Nobody? Anyway, when you are ready to ask the question, you can raise the hand, and then we'll see what we can do. Okay. So now, Constance, when you look at the current situation, you are a sport actor. You are a female sport actor for many years now. Even in your capacity as a coach is not easy. I think in powerlifting, you are one of the very, very rare female coach in the world, not only in Africa, in that specific discipline. Because I want to recall that a while ago, Dr. Hayat said, powerlifting, which is a male sport. So you see this kind of prejudice, of stereotypes. You say, okay, powerlifting is a male sport. So you, a female in a male sport. So how do you think has been your secret to succeed there, and what are the obstacles that you find as a person who is kind of isolated in that area? Constance?
Thank you so much, Mr. Moderator. As a coach of parapowerlifting, we go by individuality. Each athlete has its own disabilities, and we draw programs based on individual intensity and individual morphology. Programs drawn for male are not different from programs drawn for women, but the only difference is the intensity of each athlete. The intensity means the weight, the maximum weight of that athlete. And this maximum weight is what we consider. Repetitions are set and sets are the same. And some of these obstacles that we usually face is the proper training of female athletes, because some of them depend on their husband for financial resources, for them to pay their transport to come for training. And you will see that we have training 5 times a week. And most of the women will always say, oh, coach, je ne peux pas être là demain, vous voyez, je n'ai pas de transport, je dépense, I'm always spending a lot of money, I'm always spending a lot of money. I spend 3,500 francs a week, which is too much for me, coach, with the family. And if you see that if the organization or the institution or the federation support this female elite with financial, with finance that can take them for training, they will do more better than even what we say men, because training is based on intensity, not on how huge or how small you are. We also find this problem of managing the home, Mr. SG. You will see that some of the females, before they come for training, some of them are already tired. When you try to find out, madame, je suis fatiguée, ça n'était pas facile. So now it is not easy. We turn to like deviate our training program in order to get the best performance from the female elite. What do I call deviate program? I draw the coaching program, the men coaching program we do on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And those that we have to do cardiology or reinforcement. Reinforcement is 1 day, and we walk bands we walk with rubbers or bands for the reinforcement of the upper limb 1 day. So we do not merge all the training program on 1 day, because we can say maybe he would train or she would train today, and tomorrow, because of the financial issue, she might not be able to come for training. So if we could get partners or get sponsors who could help this elite to like go for training on their daily basis, follow their training program, give them financial help for them to eat well, nutritional value, or train also coaches on the different menu elite with high performance, or elite can eat in order to have enough energy.
Thank you. Maybe I have to cut you. Sorry, Constant, we just have a few minutes left. Maybe we're going to round up this this session of debate and with maybe a last word. I don't know. I have a question here from what reached very quickly. Maybe what's the question? I'll let Mawe, you say you have a question. At least one question from the participant.
Oui, j'ai deux questions qui me préoccupent. Bonjour et merci déjà pour la conférence. Ma première question est de savoir comment est-ce qu'on peut sensibiliser les filles, en particulier en Afrique noire, à plus se mobiliser dans le parasport. Et la seconde question est, est-ce que l'IPC ne peut pas mettre sur pied un moyen ou alors une technique pour démarquer les pays qui font en sorte que les femmes handicapées de l'Afrique noire se représentent plus dans des compétitions internationales? Merci.
Merci. Thank you. We have Sek Gaston. I think he has a question. Mr.
Okay, thank you very much to give me the floor. Hello, are you hearing me?
Yeah, yes, go on, please. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm Mr. Sek Gaston from Cameroon. So my question is to know what has already been done in order to give more space to women in sport, not only in Africa but even at the global level. What is being done in order to involve more women sport, in parasport, or in the management of parasport? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Khadi, are you still there? I think you have to leave. Can you say one thing before leaving, maybe answering one of the questions before you leave? You have to leave in a few minutes.
Yes, well, thank you. Thank you very much again for having me. It's been a great honor, and I'm very happy whenever we get the opportunity to speak and to exchange best practices for our continent, our beloved continent of Africa. So I'm very happy for this opportunity and very thankful. I think for the answers of those questions, we have some more, let's say, professionals in the field here, since they're all related to parasport. But I would say that from my small experience in that field and what we're doing with the ICRC is that you don't need much to start doing sports with para athletes. When we start doing wheelchair basketball, we start in normal chairs with just the ball, and it doesn't have even to be a basketball. We just start with palping the ball. So I think also even in our head, and athletes always think that they need the wheelchairs, but we can do several months without having the wheelchairs to start with. So that's how easy the access can be, even for parasport. That just sitting on a chair, on a regular chair, if you can do that, that you can already start manipulating the ball and doing a lot of things with regard to the wheelchair basketball. I think that's what I can say, and I'll leave the floor for the other my esteemed colleagues to be able to add more into that, because that's your field, Etienne. Donc merci beaucoup pour l'invitation et ça a été un grand honneur. Je m'excuse parce que je dois partir, mais merci encore Moustapha pour cette initiative, et tout ce qui est pour l'Afrique est de notre responsabilité à tous. Alors, je vous souhaite une bonne fin de journée et de fructueux fin de débat. Merci.
Merci. Thank you, and see you, Khadi. So for the two questions, maybe one minute for Dr. Hayat, 1 minute for memory. For this last question, for those questions from the floor, there's one from the girl and one from the boy. So first, who wants to start? Dr. Hayat, or maybe you conclude memory in 1 minute. Can you say something on the questions? One was what are the strategies that can be implemented to stimulate the participation of women in parasport, because you are especially in parasport. You are also a prominent member of the APC, the African Paralympic Committee, even the NPC in Namibia. So what can you say for this question in 1 minute? Thank you.
Thank you, Etienne. I think I will just like to emphasize that it's part of APC's leadership with
I'm sorry, I think we have issues. We see having issues with your connection, memory. Your connection is not, just cancel your video, just talk, please, because your connection is not very fluent.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was saying that I think within our APCs, we need to keep giving our female athletes more exposure, and to keep encouraging them, because it only takes us as the leaders of these movements to give our women power, to give our athletes exposure, so that they can be able to represent us globally, internationally. So if we keep advocating, I think it will be better. It can only start with us, and also to encourage women that are already in these spaces not to bring each other down, but to always encourage each other. We can always pass the battle to one another than breaking one another. Just like Khadi said, that definitely the enemy of a woman is another woman. So that is the most challenge. So we need actually to break these barriers amongst ourselves, so that we can take ourselves further as leaders.
Thank you. Dr. Hayat, alors un dernier mot peut-être en français, parce que tu parles aussi assez bien français. Alors, sur les questions relatives à quelles sont les stratégies qui sont mises en place pour encourager les jeunes filles handicapées à pratiquer le parasport, que ce soit au niveau de l'Afrique, au niveau de l'IPC, qu'est-ce qu'on peut dire?
Je crois que les stratégies qui sont vues ou bien qu'on peut sentir commencent depuis la constitution parce que dans la constitution, on dit clairement que la femme doit avoir une grande partie dans le professionnalisme du sport. Moi, je veux dire quelque chose de très important. Je crois que la média, le problème, c'est dans la média. La télévision, les journaux, le Facebook, on peut utiliser la média pour montrer à tout le monde l'importance d'avoir sport dans toutes les sociétés et surtout le sport pour le disabled, pour les handicapped women. Donc, ce que je veux dire, il y a une stratégie. Tout le monde demande ou tout le monde met dans la stratégie que la femme doit avoir part. Mais pour pratiquer cette stratégie, on a besoin, premièrement, que les personnes responsables about le sport doivent être satisfaits, doivent être confident que la femme peut jouer un rôle très important dans le sport à tous les soit les disabled, soit les femmes normales. Mais ce que je veux dire, il y a des stratégies, mais les stratégies ne sont pas connues globalement, mais on doit savoir. Chaque NPC doit mettre la stratégie de développer sport pour femmes. Je crois que ça, c'est le plus important. La stratégie est là, mais comment la pratiquer, comment la faire, c'est ça le problème. J'espère que c'est satisfaisant pour.
Oui, je pense qu'elle a une bonne réponse. Merci beaucoup. Je pense que la question aussi, the last question was from Mr. Sek about the initiatives at the international level. I think you have mentioned some initiatives at international level. You have mentioned the initiative by the UN Women, by the Center for Sport and Human Rights Change. We have also the initiative by the IOC, International Olympic Committee, initiative from the International Paralympic Committee, that is for sport for the generation equality. We have the Beijing Platform for Action. We have the Sporting Chance Principle. So we have quite a lot of activities, a lot of tools. We also have the IPC Women in Sport Leadership Toolkit. So there are a lot of initiatives that have been taken at international level and at continental level. But the problem, as Dr. Hayat just said, is the matter of implementing, of applying these rules. We have constitutions, but sometimes they are not applied, they are not implemented. Donc, nous devons insister sur la mise en application des instruments internationaux, de nos statuts, même les statuts des associations, des fédérations, des comités. Parfois, on ne met pas en pratique. Donc, c'est une question de sensibilisation. Comme disait Kadi tout à l'heure, we need to sensitize. We need a lot of sensitization so that the society is more, interested, is more, I would say, sensitized about this issue. So I think, Mustafa, we are going to round up this edition of Africa Talk Sport. I want to really thank all our participants, not only the guests, Dr. Hayat Katab from Egypt, Dr. Kadi from Mali, Memory Kalari from Namibia, Constance Shifi from Cameroon. Thank you all for participating and for contributing to this important issue of women in sport in Africa. Thank you to all the participants, the online participants.